Hey, AP Lang, this is your orienting video for Tuesday, May 12th. First, I promise I talked about your final project. I'll be brief. Essentially, you're going to be writing a dialogue between yourself and three characters or authors from specific texts that we read this year. They're not all inbounds. Like, for example, I've taken out King Lear, I've taken out Last Book in the Universe, I've taken out Lord of the Flies. But if you have a look at that assignment sheet, you'll see which books you can choose from, including Antigone, Things Fall Apart, and Anthem. You are required to use the character or the author from Fahrenheit 451. So in this conversation, you and those three characters or authors are going to be talking about rebellion and when rebellion is the right thing to do. As a group, we're going to spend some time reviewing those novels so that you're fresh on the events of those books. I understand that you most likely don't have them at home. I can give you electronic versions if you want to skim through them, but it's more important for you to just remember the major events of the plot, because essentially what you're going to be doing is writing an original dialogue. So you're not going to need to say things like, pretending you're a Conquo, on page 12 of Things Fall Apart, I decided to. That's not how people talk in real life. So it would be more like a Conquo saying something like, you know, when I lost my son to the Christian missionaries, I learned something about myself, et cetera, et cetera. So you're using textual evidence, but not in a way where you need to cite page numbers. So the group of the four of you is going to have a conversation created by you on this topic of rebellion in a 3 to 5 page double-spaced paper. Of course, MLA. Again, we're going to review the books together, and then after that, there's going to be a couple of intermediary deadlines, because I know that if I don't do that, you're all going to procrastinate and do it at the last minute, because don't we all? So nothing to worry about, but I just wanted to make sure that you knew about this project. It's only worth 10% of your year-long grade, where a final exam would normally be worth 20%. So it's actually a lot less stressful, and it's not cumulative. It's not covering every single thing we learned this year. So that's it for the final project. Come to tutorial today if you want to talk it over more, but like I said, in just a couple weeks, we're going to dive into it together. So it's not something that you need to feel like you have to get started on right now by yourself. For today's reading, it's a little shorter than normal. I usually would give you 30 minutes, and today you've got like 18 minutes of reading. And that's because in addition to the Fahrenheit 451 text, you're going to read a short snippet, an excerpt from outside of the text that's based on a reference made in a poem that appears in the text. Ordinarily, I'd have the English 9 students read the whole poem and read a much fuller, longer reference outside of the text. But frankly, we just don't have time. So you're going to get a little snippet from it. And if you enjoy the poem, I hope you go look it up and enjoy. These questions are a little tougher, you know, just because analyzing poems can be a little tricky. It's something we have less practice on. So if you get stuck, shoot me an email or come to tutorial, but essentially I would say just do your best. It's all right if what you say is not 100% on target, as long as you support yourself and explain yourself fully, write a few sentences. Even if what you say is not 100% accurate, you're still going to get your points as long as you make a strong effort that way. Enjoy, and email or come to tutorial if you need anything from me.